Oh, yeah, there it is.
So, are you getting any echo?
No, but everything.
Just because
It's
obviously I've got my mic, but then I've got your audio coming out of my laptop.
Oh no, I can hear it just fine. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
God, I love these technical things, eh? So, right. I'm not sure anybody's here yet, but if they are, if they're not, it's all good. Welcome and join us for this end of set stream. We just wanted a little bit of a chat, didn't we, boys? I'm here at the moment with Jacko and with Jack, and
Yo.
Hello, everybody.
yeah, well, we haven't streamed in a little while, and we were saying, you know, the thing is, like, we love doing the Thursday night streams, but because we had Cactumania and we had the Winter Cup, we sort of done Hidden Legends to death, and so there's not really. it just feels a little bit like, oh man, we're just streaming for the sake of it, rather than, you know, putting on a great show or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it's the first time it's been just us four. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fish is
Right.
supposed to be coming.
He's here in spirit.
Is he ever not? But yeah, well, we just wanted to have a quick look around and see. Well, talk about our favourite bits, what's happened, and Hidden Legends as a whole, really, right? So,
I mean, I feel like so much has happened. Like it's been one of those like busy sets where it's had quite a few pretty significant tournaments that have happened during its lifetime. Yeah, it still already feels weird. I can't have this because I've been away, but it already feels weird that we're talking like an end of set stream. I don't know. I feel like these things always feel like they come down maybe quicker than you think. But I don't know. Those anti-chaos players probably think this can't come around soon enough.
oh my god, yeah, that. Well, here we go as well. The ban, which me and Jack briefly spoke on the other day, had just been like, I would say maybe maybe about 4 weeks too late, but you know, there we are. Something happened that was fine, right? That's something.
Yeah.
It's them showing that they're still willing to do stuff and not necessarily in a flat out ban way.
But I think even had this come any earlier, I think they sort of have this habit of when they do introduce a ban, it comes at the time of a new set. So, you know, I think even had they announced they were doing this ban any earlier, they still would have had the same stance that it would have been in effect as of the new set.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how the Althea, was it the Althea and Sildra one was handled?
That was I think for a new format, but
It was not long after I started.
I think they've only emergency banned once, and it was the Riku, wasn't it? So
yeah,
really, Jesus.
It's probably something they've been planning since Worlds, I imagine.
Oh, who we got here? We've got Great British Video Gamer. Do you know what? He's always here with us, and I just want to say you're a legend. Thanks for joining us all the time. It's really good.
We thank you for your custom.
Yeah. Before we get into, we want to talk about events and stuff, but like, it was so funny. We were talking about in prep towards this, like, oh, we should talk about Worlds and that sort of thing. But we were prepping for Cactumania, which was on at the same time. None of us watched Worlds, so it was when it came down to like what the top decks were and the top players. It was just like, oh yeah, obviously, yeah, okay.
I remember the morning of Cactumania, like waking up and like frantically trying to watch back the stream and just like flicking through just to see what was on, so that when we came live for Cactumania, I could like talk through it. But then like the added stress if we had that big storm for Cactumania, it was
God.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I bet Hancock is playing Gigawall. So I got his game up that was on stream, and I was just like, right, I'm gonna flick through the frames of all the things, see if I can figure out what the deck is. So I thought, oh, that'd be really funny if I managed to take like his deck from Worlds and like play it at the same time, and just to see how I'd do. But like I couldn't work it out enough of it, so I was just like, all right, I'll go to Materia Hunter, and I'll just type in like, oh, you know, Gigawall and Clive, and I found it. So that was that, and I just like, oh well, you know, I'll take this. This will be fun. And it turned out I didn't like it. So, you know, joke's on me, really, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean, at that time there can't have been too many players that were running Gigawall and Clive. That's so soon in that set.
Yeah, but there's so much. I was like, that's got to be the thing. But I think before we get into Cactumania and well, Winter Cup and all that sort of thing. Hidden Legends. Let's have a look back at some of the cards. Obviously, not do the whole thing set review wise and anything, but like, what do you think that we got wrong? What did we get right and everything? And what was something you were hoping for that never quite came out? Because like this cycle of monsters all seemed really cool, but it all just came down to Marlboro, didn't it? Like that was it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think just it's funny how like just in one, these are always meant to be printed as equals, right? Like, you often get this with the monsters and with the summons, and that they all have a same sort of theme. And then, but yeah, there's always winners and losers, and for sure, Marlboro was a big winner. That did Water need the most powerful one? Probably not.
Yeah, there was a lot of interest in a lot of them seeing play, but yeah, I think in the end of the day, it did end up just being the Marlboro.
You were a big fan of the Pisca Demon, weren't you, Jack? Like,
I did test it a few times. It was in my mono ice list. I still like it, but it's definitely not as strong as you'd want it to be.
Like, it's a card that could potentially, at any point down the future, if Ice was to ever get its own version of Realm that Water has, it's a very valid target. And Benevelza is obviously combos great with, but again, a card that sort of no one really found the deck for it. And also, we had a wild fish join the chat.
oh
Howdy,
my
all.
God, here he is.
Yeah, sorry about the late arrival.
That's all right. We're looking through Hidden Legends at the moment and seeing like what was good, what was bad, what we got wrong, what we got right. Do we think? But like, do you know what? It's a real shame that this Bahamut never got to make the splash that it really deserved to.
I was going to bring that one up. It was very hyped up when it was shown off, and it's just not sort of play.
I'd like to go on record to say that I said that I wasn't sold on this card when I joined the spoiler.
I definitely felt like after the way Paul Fallon used it against me in pre-release that it was gonna see more play because it just felt mean.
Is it just down to the fact that like this fire maybe could be better at the moment? Just in general.
For sure. Although I will say, priming has been unreal. The priming that has been good has been very good. So Clive Ifrit, Jill Shiva, and to an extent the Ramu.
Not to an extent. Sin Rama's awesome, man. Don't you dare.
Hey, are you guys leaving Titan off the list?
No, we're not even gonna.
It's not. Yeah.
It's
a list of good ones.
It's the same thing I will make. It's not just this set, but every set that I've noticed. Anytime there is a new mechanic in the game, Earth always gets shafted by it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It doesn't. You can play all of them.
I refer my right honourable gentlemen to Yumcax, and I rest my case.
Hang on a sec, Fish. You can't say that Earth got shafted. I mean, Water didn't even get one.
I would prefer that, though, to be honest.
I know.
This is going to be good when it comes.
Earth got all of them.
That don't count.
No, Ice got all of them with Morgul.
Earth is basically the MTG of elements, let's be honest. Just cram everything in it.
The Fortnite, yeah. I think, to be honest, this cycle of backups we were just sort of like okay on, but it turns out that like Human and G Deleter and all that lot, they're really good, man. Like,
God, I forgot Genesis was this set. I thought it was a set earlier.
Genesis, yeah. Good card. Shame he hasn't got a Cloud next set for him, but
Yeah, I don't think it's found its home yet. I will say credit and shout out to Connor. He's had actually a pretty good soldiers list that have come up against the past couple of weeks at locals, which has been pretty tasty, running like a basically earth, lightning, ice. And yeah, it's been effective. So I don't think it's a million miles away from having a good home. It's just wasn't a groundbreaking card this set.
Oh, Benevelza as well never quite got there, did he? So no, it's one of those cards that I'm thinking maybe one day will this have its time in the sun? Would it be one of those legends that in like 3 sets time is just like the most cracked thing known to man? I don't think any of us saw this coming though. Like, man, he's good. Like,
oh, good.
the amount of times it's been like, oh, well, you got to choose between this or the 7CP, and it's been like, nah, just play this. Just play this, my God. And it's
Both.
oh yeah, or both even. That's been
Both has been super effective. Like there are times there are times that both are certainly prevalent. And have their time in the sun. If I had a penny for the number of, although I love this Kurosame, if I had a penny for the number of times the past 2 weeks I've played 7CP Kurosame, maybe my opponent discard their whole hand, and my opponent's been like, I forgot that card existed.
yeah.
But no, that new Kurosame has been awesome, and I think it's been hella fun dusting off the old Une, and that Une deck is
yeah. That's that's pretty fun.
So good. Probably I would go as far as to say that Une deck is probably the most fun I've had playing Mono Ice since 2019.
Should we bring that list up in a sec? Have a look.
Yeah, I mean the list is awesome. Obviously, Lyndon ran it to top 16 at Winter Cup. I've had a few chats with Lyndon about it as well. It's quite interesting. I think definitely a few changes, but I was absolutely gassed when I saw him make top cut. Not only just because I know Lyndon quite well and we used to play at the same locals, but I had been building an Une deck anyway. Yeah. And then to see someone else have that same idea and actually pull it off and do really well with it was just awesome.
Just to cap off, I think we skipped through a bunch of fire just quickly. Like, I'll say that Joshua and Phoenix, I've been really not impressed with. I think Kyan is like this card that could like completely transform FF6 decks, but man, FF6 is sort of done, isn't it? Like it's like all the cards in this one are pretty good, like the Kyan, the Umara, the Go-Go. Like, there's some really good stuff here. But man, it just feels really dated, and like it can't compete post LB.
It just needs its next big thing before it, like at the moment it's pretty flat. It just needs its next big thing, next big buff, and yeah, that certainly didn't come this set. It got nice support pieces. Having an Umaru backup was quite nice. That Go-Go, as you said, I think is excellent. Even the Gao backup, if you're not necessarily playing a monsters package, but to have a 2CP ice backup that is Cat 6. But yeah, it's just something is still, for it to really be up there again, it's still missing.
I think just the tempo of that and then the primals just massively shut down a lot of what it's trying to do as well.
I think one thing I'd say that I'm really happy that we got wrong is that Warrior of the Crystals are actually quite good. I don't know how competitive they are, but like Velis is just disgusting when like, you know, you pay almost nothing for it, and then every time you play him or another one, it's dull and freeze. It's just, man, dull and freeze has felt better than it has in a long time at the moment. So I'm pretty cool with that all round.
Yeah, I think with the game being in a weird state of either really aggressive or really controlled, you know, Dull and Freeze actually is can be really effective, buying you time to hit your wipes, or you know, there's some greedy, you know, multicolored decks now that if you can lock them out of CP, really struggle.
Not really too much to talk about with Wind here, is there? Like I was really big on Benedicta and Garuda, but like it just sort of doesn't have a deck. Belgamina is really good, but like again, didn't really come off. We were dead wrong about Wing Wraith, because that with Belgamina is just insanely good.
That being said, I can't think of any Belgamina decks that made any top cuts.
I think if we go back and look at Cactumania, I believe Mr. Dolman was playing it. But that is pretty much it.
It was very popular at Worlds as a second deck, but in a one deck format, I think it just wins in the standard spot of there's just too much aggro.
Well, yeah, I think with Chaos existing.
Yeah.
Cactumania 24. Wow, those heady days, eh?
Well, we could always do it again.
Well, I think it's a given now, isn't it? So
it's not an if, mate. It's a when.
Well, we did also joke at Winter Cup that if we get 1,000 subs by, well, we'll say November now, I guess. Me and Jacko will do it dressed up as a wrestler, because why not?
No, we didn't. You
No.
made that agreement.
Okay, I did, and Jack has to play the tournament dressed up as a wrestler. I was
made no such
I
agreement.
was gonna lay you off of that, Jack. You shouldn't have opened your mouth.
Jack, we're gonna get you a luchador mask. It's all good.
I would pay good money for a Cactuar luchador mask. I'm just saying.
Oh man, definitely. What, you look like that guy at a Slipknot with like the nails coming out.
That would be excellent.
Earth. Like, so again, Bush. I think we said at the time, just like, yes, it's cool, but not yet. And there's, I think after we've been playing with it, we've been testing with it, and that sort of feels truer than ever. Like,
I was massively wrong on it.
Again, in what way?
I said it wouldn't go in a Sky Pirates deck, and then when I've tested it, it does definitely go in there.
Better than the Fire Earth one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Noctis is pretty good. I've played this a couple of times. Lightning was played in the Chaos deck. I still don't massively rate it, to be honest.
I guess the question will be, is this card going to see play now that Chaos is gone? Is there a home for outside of that?
If Water Lightning's good, then perhaps.
I think you could also find it in a non-monsters mono water deck as a little cheeky, like, surprise for your opponent. In line with the other Water Lightning, the 3CP one that removes a forward from the game. Just in combination. Yeah. I think that could be a little surprise, but beyond that, probably not a lot of play.
And we've got Gail FFTCG in the chat. Howdy to you too. I think of all of these, like Hugo sucks, and we knew it was going to suck, but man, it really sucks. He just doesn't do anything. I tell you what, he dies on 4CP. It's as simple as that. It costs 4, and then you've got to pay 5 for it to do it, and it's like you can kill 2 people, but like, wow, man, is that the best you've got? Is it? Oh, all right, okay.
But it doesn't even necessarily kill anything either. Your opponent could just pay for it. Yes, it might mean discard, but in the grand scheme of things, so what?
Yeah.
The fact it gave that option to your opponent made it so terrible.
For me, the best Earth card, bar none, has been Ishtola. I absolutely love this thing. I've played it in so many different decks. I would say that, again, at the Winter Cup side events for commons, I would say that this thing was transformative. After like getting wiped, you can play Ishtola to get back. Oh god, what's he called? Not the Emperor. Imitation Despot, and like you play Despot, then you get back like something else. So you've already gone to a board of 3, and it's cost you it's cost you what you play that turn anyway. This thing has been amazing in Mono Lightning because it plugs the gaps for like recursion. Every deck that I put this in, it's been like it's proven its worth like a lot. So I don't foresee this coming out of decks that I make for a long time, to be honest. I love it to bits, but
it's really interesting looking at the Earth list again. Now it's up on screen that the only things that did see any amount of play really was the Ishtola and the Lightning.
And Noctis saw a bit.
Then, I don't think they saw that much play.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a go of it with White Monk, but unfortunately the name is
They added white on it.
Yeah, but even still, the fact that it's a standard unit does mean it could have gone in with Warrior of Light that I've been using in the Monk deck. But it just is, you've always got to play a forward to use it, at which point taking out the monster probably isn't all that necessary. Hard to say.
I think that Lightning this set was really good. I know. Okay, so like, admittedly, I was really big on Leon, right? And I know I was really big on Leon because of just like, oh man, you just keep him and then deal yourself damage VX burst every turn. But I haven't put it in a single deck.
We should build that deck before the next set comes out. Just another self-damage EX.
I think it's super cool, but I just haven't played it. I thought the Furion was super cool, but I just haven't played it. We've had on stream a couple of times Jacob's Emperor Earth Lightning, the Emperor Jack Garland Crystals deck, and man, it might be the coolest deck we've had on stream. Maybe this format. I don't know if anybody wants to disagree with that.
It's certainly been really cool. The Jack Garland, yeah, I don't know. That was one of those legends when we saw it. I was like, ooh, you didn't. It kind of reads really well. It's like as a sort of control player style card. But yeah, it was way more effective in person than I thought it would be.
I think that Sidolphus and Rama 16 is ridiculously powerful. To the point that in my Mono Lightning, I have taken Man in Black out. Because between this and Lightning and the Fire Terror, you just have enough recursion that you can just keep on going regardless, and it's just crazy. I really like Guardian, but like he's the worst of these backups because he doesn't have EX Burst, so you just don't need it.
I think we need to pour one out for the summon that overkills everything forever.
Valigarmander, yeah. Fallon's just brought that up, yeah. I mean, look, for 4 CP to make sure that any card in the game is absolutely dead.
Not even dead, it's ending its like Final Fantasy TCG career.
The only thing it could do more is if your opponent has any more copies of this card, put them to the brink soon.
Oh man, that would be
They're
cool. Nobleman of Crossout. Mid was really good. But yeah, it's Lightning got off pretty good this set, and no, let's lest we forget.
I'm still adamant they just accidentally deleted text.
I'm gonna put all this stuff in here as well because water wasn't all together. So we've had some people playing Soiree and Warriors of Crystal, and Astrius is sort of okay.
I think it was trying to force a bit too much with it, to be honest. Formelda is kind of the same but better.
That's fair enough. Of the water cards this set, Tidus was pretty insane.
Yeah, was it Hara, the guy that actually won Worlds in the end? Was running that Tidus.
We'll have a look at those in a sec, I suppose. Marlborough, of course.
Yeah, not expecting.
What's this? James McNulty. Hello, Mr. McNulty. I found Valigarmander necessary in a Sid deck because it's the only way to kill Ifrit, Shiva, and other big bodies. Perhaps I've not really had the problems of it, to be honest, but it doesn't have the EX Burst, so it's 9 CP. Odin sort of just deals with that for me. I've never really had too much of an issue.
Nice bit that you're never actually paying 9 CP. You are casting at times.
Lights and Darks, everyone was really scared of Odin. Turns out that water's really good, and that means Kukulain the Impure makes this terrible. Raph has never seen the inside of the sleeve and probably will never will. Lucio is much better than we thought it was going to be. I'll eat crow a little bit about Dion, because obviously... No, I don't. No, I will say, so we've been playing with that list quite a lot. And sure, he did win Winter Cup with it, but it's a very personal list. It's not something that anyone can pick up because everyone that I've seen played it have gone, man, these backups suck. So let's pick up that as well. I don't know if the Winter Cup's on here, if it's just on Materia Hunter, but
maybe on Materia Hunter, I think.
Let me just see. Regardless, Winter Cup Cardiff 2024. Yeah, cool. In 2025, obviously.
All the mats are 2024 on them.
But the backups are for a lot of people find them quite awkward. And to his credit, sure, he did win this, and he took this to Worlds as well. But he's the only person that's been able to make this work. And I would still, if anybody was going to ask me my opinions on Dion, I would say do not play it because I think it's bad. But, people have been making it work, and I will relent to that degree. But,
I mean, the stream games we had, it was definitely one of the key pieces for winning several of those games.
yeah,
Absolutely. It did lead to some like really epic moments as well during the stream, but there was times you could see how clunky it was just being. If it wasn't for things like Loprit, the deck does struggle.
yeah.
I think when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. Like there are definitely some certain matchups which are really rough. Like I played against Dale on this list this week at locals, and yeah, when you're on top deck mode and you top deck a Bahamut, man, it feels bad.
Yeah. So that's pretty much. Oh, what's the other stuff? Was the multi-element LBs, wasn't it? So
Yes.
Which again, I think it's worth mentioning. We were all, before we saw any text, we were all bricking it when we saw multi-element LBs. We were like,
not me.
LBs.
I thought, oh my god, they fixed it. They've mitigated both multi-element and LB. I was like, oh no, that's great, that's cool. Put them in there. They're all sort of okay. I have played many an Earth Lightning deck this format, and I've always been 2 CP short of running the Dragon King, so I've never cast him. Of the single element ones, Zidane's pretty good. Snow is as good as I thought it was going to be. Tenzin, nobody's playing Samurais, so it's a fine card. Celtius has been, to quote a great man, Mr. Paul Fallon, Celtius has been smelly AF. And in the rare event, this was awful because you just couldn't get rid of it. But for me, bar none, my favorite has been Gilgamesh. He is it's just so much utility for what you need to try and do, and like I have cast this hundreds of times over this format. I'm in love with this card.
I feel like it's the only proactive lightning. Well, I guess there's the lightning LB as well, but there's a few times where, as a lightning player, a lot of your stuff is reactive. It's like, oh, what can I actually do? And then a bit like Leo Pass, you can't really go wrong as a lightning player to be like Gilgamesh Pass, like remove a couple things.
Warrior of Light.
Yet to see it cast.
I haven't seen too much of it. I know that Dale said that it felt okay the times that he did. But sure, it's fine. Magna Roda we've seen a bunch of, and it ended up being pretty good. I think the 7K puts it right in the safe zone. Iron Giant has been really good. And it feels horrible to Ami. Yeah. And sort of Tombury and Cactuars saw much less play than we gave it credit for as well. But we've seen pretty much all of these played to the board. Probably not this one, but
yeah. I mean, we saw. I think James McNulty himself came up with the ultimate weapon. I think at Cactumania, I'm pretty sure we saw him. If I remember the stream correctly, I'm pretty sure we saw him slap that down one time and get both effects, and felt pretty good.
Yeah, I almost lost the game to one of the YYT lot after it came out.
It's
one of those cards that you can easily forget exists, and then until it comes down, and you're like, "Oh yes, this is a thing."
Yeah.
But no, I think otherwise we've definitely, as all sets, you get winners and losers, and I'd definitely say I don't think we were a million miles off on our predictions from the set review on certain things.
The dream of streaming while children are at home.
Oh dear.
It's busted. Daddy, look at this. Holding the switch up and like, yeah, cool. Not now, mate.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Before you go though, tell us your favorite Final Fantasy moment.
Yeah. The world is listening.
I definitely think Ifrit and Clive definitely came away the star of the set.
Do you think so?
I think so. They're in so many decks.
Generically, I'd say yeah, quite possibly.
And he just saw so much play and I think consistently did well.
Yeah.
I think in my highly biased opinion, I think Jill Shiva as well. More than anything because they filled a role that Ice didn't really have. Sort of dealing with like some board, like Ice never really been blessed with having sort of board wipes or things. So.
I a lot of my favorites are just unpopular ones, I suppose. Joseph I thought was really good. That's been in a bunch of decks. Nice color fixing into Ice and Lightning. A big on Minwoo, but in the Rebels deck I've yet to have a chance to cast him, so we'll still see on that one. The Emperor's really cool. Sid and Rama I thought were insane, but I've really liked this set overall. I think it will go down in the history books, this one, a little bit, I think. But
I will say I think it's been pretty. I can't say this is because we've had tournaments that have come and gone, but it's been pretty versatile meta.
I don't think I agree with that one.
I would. I think there has been, other than Water being like just very clearly like an incredible deck.
I still think it's the case that if you look at a lot of the tournaments throughout this set, it's still Gigawall, it's still 4-color walls, it's still Warriors.
Gigawall's not seeing play really outside the United Kingdom, to be honest with you.
I mean, you say that there was no Gigawall in Cactumania Top Cup. We got it there, don't we?
Yeah, and there was none at the Winter Cup Top Cup, despite the fact that the stream would have you not believe that because it was on stream. It was constantly on stream. It's what happens when we don't get to choose what's going on. But it was the Cactumania again. It was 2 Waters. Newcomer Sam Beasley with incredible showing at Cactumania, and he knocked me out of top 8 here, and he knocked me out of the running for top 8 at Winter Cup. So Bees, if you're listening,
you're already sick of the sight of him.
If you're listening, go fuck yourself.
I think while we're on the topic of Cactumania as well, like, can we just have a moment of appreciation of how insane that whole like stream was and the finish, and just like the hype that we had from the chat and everyone getting on board with that. It was just
Yeah, it was one of my favorite streams I think I've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, we had to really try and do what we could with the audio because we had new gear and no time to test it, which was fantastic, of course. But it was one of my favorite events we've ever done as well, to be honest. Oh, look at that. He is in here. Oh, he is in here. Yeah, well, it's not mean because you get prizes and I don't. So
it sounds like a skill issue, Paul.
Oh, it's a skill issue, yeah, because I wasn't playing mono water.
It's like that person in Monsters Inc. where he's like, I'm always watching you, Paul. Always watching.
But I would say it has been quite diverse. Obviously, like there's I wouldn't say that was a lot of new decks. Obviously, we've got here Kitty with Ice Primes, which is quite a new deck, to be honest. And there's loads of different ways to play this. So it's good. It's interesting. I'd say that there's been a fair amount of just random stuff happening, I suppose. But yeah.
It's been it was interesting to like sort of see the set evolve. Like actually, if you think about comparing sort of Winter Cup lists, it was like I think compared to what we saw at Worlds, which I guess was like a tournament right at the very beginning, tournament right at the very end. There are definitely a lot of lists that sort of stayed the same. But then we did have a sprinkling, a splashing of newer stuff as well. I think that's always the case as sets evolve and get older. There's people, and then you can't test everything.
No.
Super surprised that we never saw this Fire Water Monsters deck again. But then again, is that because it's another one of these like highly personal lists? And I feel like this list was strong because of the pairing, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Like actually, if you built this list, you probably put Amaterasu in, which he couldn't.
Yeah, well, I would file this under personal list, to be honest. like nothing bad against it at all. It's very solid. Obviously, it has to be. It won the world championships, but I think this is someone who knows exactly what they wanted out of it, taking something very specific and that would complement well with the Warrior of Light deck, which was again not a lot of surprises here. So,
That's probably why it did well, was because it was like, who going into Worlds was preparing to play against that fire water list? Like, no one.
19 backups, crazy. But
That
yeah,
is mad.
so yeah, I suppose. Well, Cactumania first of all, like that was a something that we were. this was me and a few of the YYT lads and everything getting massively drunk at Euros, being like, oh yeah, it wouldn't be funny if like instead that we just had like a championship belt or something like that. So again, being pretty off my arse, I then text Fish straight away with that idea about like doing promos and all that sort of thing, and then
sent you one right away, didn't I?
Yeah, it was like 15 seconds, and he's like giving me a paragraph of just like, oh my god, no, we should actually do this. And it's like, oh, have a look in our little bank account. Oh look, we've actually got enough budget to do all of this. Oh my god, this is so. The thing is, when it comes to the sort of things that I like to do, and I like to push, if it's something stupid enough, I will absolutely push doing it. So yeah,
I think it's the tradition of it now for FFTCG, like as a community anyway, like having that Christmas blow off sort of fun tournament, and it would have sucked not having it. Like just having that time where we all just get together, even if it's not, you may not enjoy your weekend if you have a bad couple of rounds or what have you, but the fact that then you go out, you have a laugh, you have some drinks, play some friendlies or some bloody like tower sort of builds and things like that, and it's just fun, just a lot of fun.
I think as well, like this is it was a community event as well. I think it was a really nice thing, because fully understand the decision to delay Winter Cup, but equally like understanding how important that and big end of year celebration has been for a lot of people. So to have a tournament so successful that's just also like just completely come out of the community, I think it's like super refreshing and not something that we have too often in FFTCG. So.
And even Mother Nature herself tried to stop us.
I know. Well, I can't believe we've got like 40 people, and still everyone breathing the storm, like public transport's off and all that sort of thing. Like, yeah, it was. We said it a lot on the stream and all this sort of thing. But if you went here, like, it was like biblical. Like Pontypridd had fully flooded and was underwater, sort of thing. Like it was really, really bad. But I wouldn't say that's an excuse for anybody in Pontypridd to have webbed toes and hands, which they do. So, but no, it was good fun. Like I would do it again, and I'm pretty certain that we're pretty set on doing it again. And to be honest with you, it was anything like locals last week. There were so many people missing from locals last week, and we had 28 players.
That's mental.
We always joke on times like that where we're just like, oh, brilliant. Well, more than an Australian Materia Cup. Like, it's no. I'm really thankful for like who we've got locally and who always puts the effort in to come every week and does all this and make the community what it is. And it's just, it's nice when we do these things as well. And it's just like, again, we've had to source the prizing ourselves and do what we can with that, and everybody still got involved with it. It's lovely to see. And
I would add to that as well, just how the community, like our local community especially, treats newcomers as well. It's just throw cards at them, get them into the game, discuss and help them with their deck ideas.
Oh no,
That's
of course.
I love seeing all that stuff as well.
Because there
was.
And
the Discord's been great as well for that as well. We get a lot of new chat in the Discord, and I think obviously the growth that we've had with the channel growing as well, just means that having that additional growth, and then it's an extra outlet that people in between weeks was like can get some advice and tips from their decks from not just from other Cactuars who obviously in Discord, with the Discord channel growing. We've got people from all over the globe now giving advice and input to newer players. And there are some top players in that Discord that always chime in. Like shout out to Jonathan. Obviously, he won Winter Cup, and he's been one of our biggest fans. I'd say he's there every week.
Yeah.
For our live streams, and he's an active voice in the Discord. And having such like outstanding players like them, to help out with new players is it's just incredible, and just a testament to the community as a whole.
Have you guys got any like stream moments that you're particularly pleased with, or any standout moments from this set?
I mean, the sudden death.
Oh my god, yeah. Wow. Hang on, let me find that one. That was awesome, wasn't it? Like,
I was just to be there in that moment and like thinking, oh, he's done it, but oh no, he hasn't. Is this it? Like, oh, and it was just
game 3, yeah. Game 3 here. Absolutely, yeah. There's like both players having to try and play mono water just in a way that they never do. Like,
having chatted to like both of these guys since as well, and just like getting their idea, and shout out to Sam Frost as well. He's for those that live under a rock, he's part of the great content creating team up in Nottingham way, with the Slice and Dice, and hearing their podcast and hearing him talk about it afterwards as well, and like what was going through his mind. But I mean, look how quickly Sam Beasley shook his hand. I got on speed. I was like, what is going on? But yeah, it's just crazy.
I think for me, sorry, go on, Jack.
Yeah, go.
No, you go.
Was this the game where the board just ended up like completely covered, or was that the end of game 2?
Yeah, that was the end of game 2.
Yeah, this is what
It
I
looks
was
like a Yu-Gi-Oh board.
This is what I was shouting at like Sam Frost, because I think he'd realised that he'd misplayed on. I think he played the Abkalu and the Sargon Chief, forgetting he had to play the blue one to draw 2 to play the Witch of the Fens. It was just, there's so many little crazy like micro decisions that happened. And
it's just like, as well, like the board by the end of game 3 was absolutely mental, wasn't it? It's like there's nothing. Oh no, great game, loved it. What about Jack? Have you got any favourites from the stream at all that you've seen or you were a part of or anything? Or
God, there's just been so many this set. It's hard to try and remember.
I'd say for me, it'd have to be like Rob's Hilda draw on damage 5.
That one was very, very good.
Winter Cup.
oh, which one was that?
Oh, now
It
you're
was-
asking.
I'm not sure I've seen
It was
that.
day 1, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. Day 1.
It was a game before when he played the Chaos. It was put against Chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But I don't remember when in the game it was.
He was on mono water, wasn't he? Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Oh well, there's Hilda on the board. So
But it was like play Hilda to play something else from break. So I completely swing that game back.
bam.
What a play that was.
Yeah. Part of me feels like we should get like some sort of ESPN action replays show
Oh
set up on our
man,
channel.
don't even get me started with that sort of thing. I would love to, but like there needs to be a man like doing like edits at the same time to get that in there. I would absolutely love it. But
Oh no, we could just do it like an after show, like like a news broadcast.
what? Go back to you and the boys in the studio.
Yeah, no, like we'll just do a whole like separate show where it's just, well, let's check out the week's best plays or the month's best plays or something like that, you know.
Oh wow! So that was Hilda straight into Lena, bring back the Leviathan, and this is over, isn't it? Right here. Oh my god, yeah, that's crazy.
And honestly, watching them and like we could hear them in the background and the fun
you
they
can
were
always
having.
hear Rob Phillips from
Oh,
space.
it was great. It was great watching Rob on day 2, and they were playing against Ice, and they're just stealing each other's cards. Oh, they're done and frozen. Okay, I'll flip them upside down, and it's like, oh, I don't know what's going on anymore.
I will absolutely say Rob was my MVP from that weekend, because like there was times where like me and Jack might be flagging a little bit, and then we'd have him come to the table, and just his like sort of way he was playing and his enthusiasm for it just perked us up as well, and then we kind of got dragged along for it. It was just incredible, to be honest.
Regardless of how far he went, it was the fun of the game as opposed to anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And credit to Rob, like he has always been like that, and like he's also like an outstanding player. You know, he's been there
Absolutely.
for, you know, since almost since day one, and yeah, you know, lucky enough to play in a very, very high standard locals down in London. But yeah, so easy to get super like serious and like take it really seriously. But Rob just epitomizes that, like the mindset of like, this is a game, we play for fun, I'm gonna have fun. Like yeah,
one of my favorites is honestly it's this, because we have Jack playing my Mono Lightning, but he keeps doing the S. Oh, it was never punished on screen there. I keep forgetting we've done that.
It wasn't there for Winter Cup, sadly, so I couldn't use it.
It's he's keeping the cards in his hand, but he keeps doing the. It doesn't win. It's not enough to win in the game. It might have already been by now, actually, but it's a shame because like this against the Ice Wind should be a full-on free matchup. Maybe something in the comments. Oh, there we are. 15:49. There we are. So.
There's this cloud S that he just does.
Yeah, but he does it like multiple times in this game. It's just I'm just like, oh my boy.
James McNaughty just raised a good one. Brocky using Lena special on opponent's turn to get back Garnet to grab Amy. That was actually incredible.
Oh, that as well, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Man, I miss playing that Mono Lightning deck.
Oh man, I'm gonna bring it back. Well, see what new lightning tools I get as well. But big fan of this myself and everything. But yeah,
my first ever tournament win.
Oh yeah. Where's it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, it's been great with the amount of stuff here as well. Oh, poor Gareth, not filling in his deck list properly, so getting kicked out of Top Cut at Winter Cup. Rough.
Honestly, like we were having the conversation in the pub in the night of day one, and I was saying, guys, obviously, you know, that's one of the big things is make sure that is all done correctly. He's like, oh yeah, you know, we've definitely done it. We're all good. And I was like, oh man, that's devastating. Like,
was it on the Friday or on the Saturday?
On the Saturday. So obviously,
I guess he'd already handed the list in, right?
Yeah.
So what was the issue? Because obviously I wasn't there. I missed it.
The
So what actually happened?
LB was mislisted. So there was the wrong amount of cards for certain LB cards.
Yeah.
Is in that? So we actually had too many or too few cards listed in the LB deck.
I think he wrote the number on the wrong side of the card, so technically it ended up on a different one for the quantities. So it just ended up, or they were just completely miswritten down. But yeah, what was sleeved up for his LB deck and what was in his LB deck were slightly different. And then because it was a best of one, it's an automatic game loss, which basically amounted to a DQ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you hate to see it.
Do we have Gareth at Cactumania?
I believe so. We did, yeah.
I don't think we had him on stream.
I don't think there was a stream game.
He was there, but I don't think he ever actually made it onto stream. He was on nights, wasn't he?
Yeah, haven't we got nights on stream at all for that, have we? No.
Just day 2 with Dan.
No.
Oh, Cactumania. No.
For Cactumania, we didn't have it. Yeah, we only had it on. Yeah.
It's hard to believe though. There's been like 70 videos we've done for this, so like it's been crazy.
Yeah, because I think because basically Gareth played top 4, he played against Sam Frost on Mono Water, but we had Sam Frost as the top 8 game, I think it was, because he was playing against Sam Griffiths, who was our top ranked player.
Would the opponent be allowed to waive the game loss? If it was me, I'd have taken that option if it existed. I don't think so. I think it's if you've broken the rules, that's that.
You're more than welcome to if you really want to still play them in the game to really rub their nose in it. But, yeah.
I'd imagine just throwing it as well. Oh no!
Yeah, because
you definitely
nothing,
beat me.
It's nothing to do with the opponent. It's they've reviewed the deck list and.
Yeah, so
because it's wrong, it happens before the get. Technically, it happens before the pairings are even up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
frustrating, I guess, but like big learning point, and like we've all been around this game long enough to know that it happens at every level. Like there are people at proper major tournaments that have also had game 1 losses because of either marked cards or incorrect lists or whatever it will be,
But nice to see our boy Harbin do so well with Knights at Winter Cup and top 4.
Such a beautiful man.
Yeah, just lost to Jonathan Ho.
And pulled the Clive in his prize packs as well.
his missus pulled the Clive.
and massive shout out to Dan, because Dan's he's been around for ages. But was this his first Top Cut?
I believe so, yeah. I think he's always played mainly sort of fun decks or things that interested him, and I think he really knuckled down on this one and just, it definitely paid off.
Pirates player. Huge Sky Pirates player, and
it helps that he played this so well as well. Just again, solid list, really good. And he deserves everything from that, but. What else have we got here?
Massively. It's quite interesting seeing this, because what new cards did Knights get
in this set?
Yeah.
Clive, if you play it. Which,
I was gonna say I don't think it got anything.
Our man Toops here plays it in this one, so.
Was Beatrix LB was at this set, but then again.
Set before.
23.
Set before, so yeah. So I don't think it got anything.
Ultimate weapon.
But
and I don't necessarily think it needed anything new.
Yeah. No, I think it's just probably just benefiting from the how prevalent control decks have sort of become again.
This is the one, isn't it, Jacko?
Yeah. And then so of all the aggro lists, if you don't want to be that person playing chaos, Knights is just the other option. I don't really know what other aggro lists you really play.
Oh, well, I think that sort of brings us on to state of the game in general and bans and stuff, right? So, is hitting chaos just enough? Because obviously that doesn't really stop water from being on top, because water could already beat it quite easily. Maybe not easily, but quite convincingly. And Knights doesn't. Maybe losing chaos brings back a room for Earth to be able to, come up against Knights a little better. But
honestly, I think what we need is to start seeing them be a bit more of these costs that are rather than just break one forward, it's break one forward or monster. Because at the moment, monsters are just so hard to interact with.
Yeah,
that's the issue. More than that, I think that's why one of the big strengths of Mono Water is it has these big payoffs, and it's kind of shown in that the 4-color lists and Brocky's list. Was running that one of Chilinka just to try and get some sort of semblance. But just the nature of monsters being so hard to interact with.
GBVG says 4-color wall for ban. Look. You're going to have to make your peace with the fact that it's being reprinted twice this year. It ain't happening.
Yeah. You can't ban it. I've only just got my playset.
I do
this week.
I do wish they would do more consistent bans, or at least kind of like what they've done with Chaos. Because I think Wall, Giga Wall, could do with potentially seeing the same treatment.
It's not here, though. There's a top 16 list, and it's not here.
No, I know, but so my argument will always remain is that if your opponent can sort of spaff out potentially up to 15 plus CPs worth of forwards in a single action for half that value, but a board wipe is conditional and costs about the same, but you still can't make a comeback, that's problematic. So they either need to do something about board wipes being not less conditional, or they need to hit these cards that are spaffing stuff on the board basically.
May I introduce you to this, which doesn't have anything to do with Gigawall.
Are we looking at Opus 25 stuff?
Yeah.
That's about it. I'm watching it on the thing. I've got it delayed, so
Yeah, because you've paused the stream on
have I?
Discord, by the way.
on Discord. So yeah, so everything I'm watching is on delay. I'm just like the suspense is killing me.
But again, Warriors is one of these things that is in that sort of list of spaffing out all these CPs worth of forwards, and this is just gonna add to that agony basically.
And just while this is loading, I just will respond to Great British Video Gamer. I know what you're saying about monsters being able to sack themselves, but actually being able to get them to sack the monsters when they don't want to is huge. Like, I've had a few wins against Mono Water over the past week or so, where I've basically forced them to Sahagin Chief at a point where they don't really want to because they've got no other choice. So, yeah.
Do you know what? I'll just instead.
Yeah, forcing the removal, even if it's just playing one card, is normally a good way to put them into a worse spot. But yeah, man, that Volker is a.
It's pretty rough, right?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, well, it's amiable, and I'm like, yeah, but you can't evaluate every card on it being amiable, because if they don't have it, then what do you do?
Yeah, and not every deck runs it.
Screen's up for you guys again now, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be the one that's going to cry too badly until I see it, but I don't like what I see in it. But I don't think, again, this is doing what Gigawall does, but more consistently, I suppose, because you're choosing exactly what it is you want. Because you're going to get a 2CP Tyvis, which is fantastic.
I think I was working this out. You can hit 4 forwards and still have a card in hand after playing this turn 1.
Yeah, it's just maybe those turn 1 Shantotos aren't going to look too bad anymore.
And have dealt a point of damage to your opponent. I'm just
Paul, I will refer back to I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not sure that like Gigawall isn't I love it. And it's not getting the results worldwide that I think warrant too much. I wouldn't be so bad if 4-color Wall said if that's in a deck, that can be the only Warrior of Light card that's in your deck, which means that the LB becomes mostly useless.
Or give it the safety treatment.
Yeah.
Just a 1.
Well, I'm not even sure. Maybe that is what it needs. Just go into 1.
Because even then, like you can still try and get some sort of payoff for sort of Gilgamesh BE, but then it just requires your opponent to be able to remove one of them, and then it's sort of like, and then it means you can be really tactical as a Gigawall player to be like, okay, well, I'm going to search both copies of Warrior of Light, but I'm not going to discard for S effect the 4-color one until I've got a Gilgamesh locked and loaded ready to go, and then force my opponent to have to do it during my turn. So.
Durak Rask here saying, to be honest, I feel like Refi is more of a problem than Wall 4 in that sort of deck.
But Refi should be the payoff that deck. Decks need a linchpin.
How much setup does Refia really need? Like, it needs so much to get going. And she's only a 7k, and she's only a 3CP. So, like, getting rid of it. Like, if you have a problem with this, like, and if that's something that, like, locally is a problem or that sort of thing, play Earth Lightning, because you can't lose, right? Like, you cloud the Refia whenever it comes out, you miss Dragon the Break Zone whenever you have to, and maybe when they play for the color Wall or Shanto, you play Chaos. Done.
Like Refia is a great card, and I think it needs to stay like that. Is the linchpin of that deck, and I know people are thinking, oh, but it's so like, the deck's like running rampant, but it's not really running that rampant really.
Yeah, it is the best card in the game, but it is what it is. Looking forward to
that way from many sets.
So,
Sorry.
I top of my list for bans. Honestly, get rid of Realm. There's no Mono Water. It massively turbos Mono Water, but I don't think Mono Water will hurt for getting rid of it. I think it will still get top rated results.
The thing with Realm is just like that was a hero in what Opus 10. They printed a Legend Realm last set, and that was still worse. Like what?
Considerably worse.
Like what?
I don't think they can print anything to compete with it because there's too many cards that work with it well enough.
It's like the Ursula problem. You can print as many Ursulas as you want. It's still going to be the old one as well.
Well, unless it's something that changes the shape of the deck, then yeah, well, really that's that, isn't it? Oh, here we are. So there's everything we've seen from Opus 25 so far.
A few interesting cards and some less interesting cards.
Golbear's really cool. Really, really cool.
Great art as well.
I think Yang is really cool. Kane, I think, is really cool. You know, I love all these restrictions, to be honest. Like Camelot, excellent card. Need a dark forward. Cool. I think I'm gonna play it.
Yeah. But the thing is, will it see play it as like a one-off in any sort of multicolour deck that maybe one day plays dark cards, you know?
If you are, it's probably not gonna be Vegna Gun.
I know a lot of people have rated that quite high.
Okay.
I'm just not seeing it.
The thing is, it's easy to look at it and go, this is a great answer to aggro, but I'm like, yeah, but you got to see it. Like,
Yeah.
It's so hard to search.
Larsa's
It's so hard to search. Like,
I would think
yeah,
I would rather have Neo X Death.
Yeah.
I still think one of the best cards that's been spoiled so far is probably that Porum.
Oh, I love this thing too. Let's not get too into set review stuff, but yes, Porum is gonna be on my buy your foils list.
Well, for that mayor, I feel like we've had that artwork on that mayor before.
Similar, yeah. Nobody's quite. The jury is massively out on Una. I think that's a big we'll see. If anything's going to go massively wide and forward, maybe Vikings likes it, but Vikings also wants to have LB Luso on the field, really, because that thing's always hitting for like 15k or something, right? This T-Dis is really cool, but I don't know what deck it goes in.
I'm curious what Soldiers and Gullwings is going to look like.
And all of these great cadets, but man, give us a 4CP EX Burst Searcher, please.
Hell, I'd even take it without EX Burst at this point.
Well, yeah. I love Barrett.
I love this 8 as well on the topic of the Class 0 cadets. I won't claim any credit, but I saw a great meme on one of the groups that I'm in of basically it's the Estinian from a set or two ago. That's like the rare one. It's like 4CP, 8k, has haste, and when it attacks, it's just like, can I copy your homework? He goes, yeah, but make it look a little different. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Dirk Raz says, I honestly can't tell if I like Fusoya or not compared to the 5-drop water one. Right. They have two very different cards, and I will close the book on Fusoya immediately. We haven't got it's in Japanese, so we haven't got the text here, but for Fusoya enters the field, choose one forward, deal it 9,000 damage. Remove the top two cards of your deck from the game, and for S1 and Dull, you do the same thing. Here's why this is bad. It's a 2CP backup, which requires your opponent to have a forward on the floor to do it on the field to do anything. It has an S, which means that you've got to play more than one of him. And by being a light backup means that you can't really search him. There you go. That's the end of it.
And also, choose one forward. Obviously, I haven't got the full translation, but it's like, if you have a forward, they don't, you have to choose your forward.
Yep.
Doesn't say up to, but it may do in the actual English translation, but it's just like...
Just how to read this, it's like a key piece, and it means that you're not playing any light forwards or dark forwards. It's just remove the two top cards of your deck from the game, okay, but that's not great. If it milled them, maybe, but like you can't.
But if you look at any deck, your 2 CP backups are basically the backups you want to see first.
Exactly.
And this isn't that. So it's just like, so what is it? Like,
so when it comes to light and dark backups, you've got this one sees play everywhere because you can search it and it will see play in turn 1 or turn 2 in 90% of the games that you play it. This Materia and this Spiritus are phenomenal cards with excellent text. Like, really, you can't really do much better than what this says. Materia. It allows you to play more light characters like Materia and like Cosmos. But unlike Cosmos, you have to have played this first. And for when she enters, you gain a crystal, which is great for a 1 CP card. For 1 crystal on tap, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 forward money to your hand, and return the rest to the bottom in any order. And for just 2 and tap, you can gain a crystal. So if you need a crystal, there you go. You can't search this, so you can't play it. Simple as that. Spiritus, same thing. Again, like, you gain crystals, and if you paid 2 or more crystals this turn, you gain 1 back. And for crystal tap, you can choose 1 forward, gain 5,000 power. Like, all of this is great text. They're amazing full arts, but you can't search them, so you can't play them because you can't build your deck around it. It's as simple as that. This is why Cosmos has only seen like competitive play like in Braska decks, right? Because people were using Forden to search.
That Opus 3 light deck as well.
Yeah.
That mono water light. Well, it's like, and it had like 12 light cards in it or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a deck forward for a while people were using because it searched another deck?
Camlanaut. That's how you played Chaos, and that was the original way to do like multi-element decks. It was
before Tyro.
Yeah. That was Tyro before Tyro. And you'd easily just turn 1 Camlanaut to get the Chaos and play only 1 copy of Chaos because it didn't matter what you could do. You'd play another dark card in there in that case, and it was but.
And you had loads of great ways of getting the Camlanaut as well. Like you could Star Sybil, you'd be able to search it. And,
But yeah, I know that this has seen play a little bit because of. I mean, you technically can sort of search these because I know somebody a long time ago in our local group used to play it with Sid 2, which is tap him, search for 1 backup across 1 and add it to your hand. So basically, you'd play like all of the 1 cost backups in this is Opus 6, but I think it was like you played with the Chaos. I think you played it in like Opus 11 or something like that. And you basically use this to, you doll him for 1 CP, and then you search a card. So he gains 2 CP or gains 1 CP for every time that you do it. And it was cool, but this is like the only way to do it, and you're not doing that. Simple as. Not when you compare it to like Sarah. So, yes, that's why a lot of these light and dark backups don't see play. What a tangent off of that. But yeah, that if you when it comes to light and dark backups, if you can't search for them, you can't play them. That's it simply. I'm glad that the sort of LBs are getting like not worse, but just sort of quite standard. Like this Red 13's just fine text on, and it's very limited on what you can do. LB2 I think breaks it entirely. Maybe the Gold Bears having a deck that works out of the limit break deck, so that you can play 3 Gold Bears and nothing else in the limit break deck is really interesting.
Yeah, and also it's worth mentioning as well, like the warped Gold Bears doesn't need to enter play to do all these things. So you basically play this and you can still warp that Gold Bears.
Yeah, right.
My only issue with that Gold Bears, I think, is you can only play it twice. Because it costs 2, so you would have been 6 playing 2 of them.
Yeah, but surely you've done everything you needed to do by that point.
Potentially. But it leaves you down to an LB1 card.
I think mechanically it's really interesting, which is...
I'd love if a lot of LB cards were like this.
Reno and Rude, I think the Rude's good. I'm not sure on the Reno. There's some people locally that are quite hot on it. I think it's a 2 CP 5k, and I'm not sure that's good enough. I said it briefly. I think Barrett's great. Barrett plays backups from deck. See, look, if if you had a light or dark FF7 backup, this would be your guy. But it plays backups from deck. Like that's why I've been after the full art Jessies from the Legacy collection. So I'm just like, man,
sure. Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Turn this into a backup and search any forward I want. Bang him. I think right. So Dine, like me and Jack were talking about this. We can't believe this is the first time Dine's appeared in the TCG, but you know, I will be after Dines because as much as he isn't great in commons format and like other formats, this guy's great. So
the art's just amazing.
Yeah, I'm all over that. Vincent, oh my god, Vincent might well be. It's gonna take a lot for a card to be worse this set, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just I gotta wonder what they were testing to make them think that it had to cost 7. I just don't get it.
It's just so like ludicrously like 7. 7.
Direct Rask again.
What must it have originally said?
Sorry, Direct Rask there with the new Scar
It's not
being
like his
cost.
hard break. Sorry, on the Vincent. It's not even like his hard break. It's the deal damage equal to his power. He's paying 7.
With the new Scarm being cost 1, you can easily turn 1 Golbez and in your opponent's turn protect Golbez by scarming it out of your deck. You could. I don't know if you would because obviously that's not. Can you pay the Golbez cost with 1 card? So like 1 and X. Or does that have to be 2, like 1 and then X has to be a different source?
I imagine they're going to have to clarify that because I don't know if anything else does it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now if we've had a card like that before. I think you can. It's not like there was that one that grabbed monster that was like X, like it was 2 circles of X.
That was knocked.
Yeah.
Feels like if it had to be 2 sources of payment, they would do the pay 1, you pay, then as a second part of it, pay X to search and play. Yeah, I imagine that'll be immediately on the FAQ list on release.
Yeah, it'll be on the
to
FAQ, I was
clarify.
going to say.
Well, yeah, all of them are pretty good. They've got great full arts as well. The Queen is really good, but man, she's wind. Oh, we'll see.
I just going back to that 1 and X thing, I would argue that you could do it on the grounds of the way it's positioned. It's almost like if it was paid 3, it would be like 1 colors, 2 Earth, for example. We could pay that the same with 1 or 2 cards, right? In 1 payment, you wouldn't separate it out. So 1 and X should be the same.
I would agree.
Just having a quick scroll through here. I need strong feelings. Oh, well, there's lots to be said about.
Legend? Well, the Ice Legend, I remember thinking.
Len. Is it Len? Yeah. It is Len.
Yeah, it is Len.
Wait, she was the legend?
Yeah.
Ooh,
At the beginning of your attack phase, remove the top card of your deck from the game. You may cast it this turn, and 1 remove Len from the game. Choose 1 summon your bricks and remove it from the game. You may cast it anytime you can normally cast it.
I've been waiting for the time to be able to crack out a deck where I can. Now that you can emanate and search the ice backup that lets you look at the top card of your deck.
Oh, Yule.
Yule, yeah, exactly. I even made a list like you could do it water ice list where you can run Dion EX to also search the Yargrosh to protect it. So yeah, it's the starter Yule from Opus 5.
Yeah,
there you go, that one.
Isn't that the one that if you break it, if your opponent breaks it, you mill 10?
Is this when I play Opus 1 Dark Sephiroth at 8 CP just to do that?
Yeah, that's right. But you can run like an ice water list and play the EX burst 3 CP Jill in the part that lets you search for a Psychon, and then you can grab the Yargrosh. It gives you a bit of a package with that as well.
Oh no, Ice Lightning. Play it with Raijin and Fujin.
Yeah. Yeah, you could break your own Yule.
Yeah.
Oh look, 3 forwards out of nowhere.
Yeah, that Len is super interesting. That will be. It's nice to see Ice get something a bit different.
Yeah.
Whether that's it. Also, Connor and I had quite a good chat about sort of Ice and its identity, and for ages it's just dull freeze or it's a discard and it's just or like deal something to a dull 4. Yeah, it's not been. It feels a little bit one-dimensional, and the Une deck that's been really good and really fun to play. We're like, can Ice get like a Blink identity? That would be really cool. But seeing cards like Len is super refreshing.
Yeah.
Is it good? I don't know. Time will tell. But it's super refreshing to see Ice get something a bit different. It could potentially be wild.
And yeah, Ice Una. Ugh. It's like we went. I kind of such a Gull Wings, and like that's okay. But for like 2 anything, you can just play the like brother. It's like, oh no, we didn't realize that it wasn't just 3 of them. Yeah. So this thing, I imagine this thing will see play. People are pretty big on this Maynard as well. I mean,
on topic of the unit, I think there is a potential this could see, it could be a mini Tivus engine of some shape or description. Brother's a great choice. You can play Riku backup. You can then pay 2 CP to play Starter Pain, and you'll have the Una on board and the Riku on board. So you're paying 2 CP to play a card that's going to untap all your backups and draw you a card.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, let's just say this. Durat Rask again. The new Kane in this set feels disappointing as an FF4 enjoyer. Number 1, your fault for being an FF4 enjoyer. Number 2, Kane is massively uncontested in Dragoons. Like Dragoons is like an okay tribal deck. It's definitely something if you're on a budget, like pick it up because almost everything, like there's almost no legends in this whole thing. But like, which one are you supposed to play? Because it's like none of them are great. It's like it's not the Lord one from Opus 2. It's not the Jump one from Opus 2. Most of these, like
Hooded Man, that's the one you're supposed to play.
To be honest, sort of, yeah. But well, like the Kane backup with back attack, like that's pretty good and probably one of the better ones. Or like the Wind one is pretty good, but Wind Lightning Dragoons aren't really a thing yet. And yeah, so this LB one, like it's absolutely fine that he's called Kane because there's nothing. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But anything that you guys are super excited from what you see so far? Fish.
Well, I mean, you all expect me to say the obvious choice is going to be Yang, but I do quite like that Armstrong, if I'm honest.
Armstrong.
If that's the monster I'm thinking it is.
The fire one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that could, like.
Or do you mean Hell House?
It could be Hell House.
Oh, they both look sort of housey, don't they? But Hell House, I think.
Yeah.
I think you mean Hell House.
That's the one I mean. Yeah. I think that is one of those type of monsters that fire doesn't really have, other than, is it Jin, sort of the tricky targetable ones you can make a forward whenever you want.
A bit like, it's a bit like Royal Ripeness.
Yeah, and that sort of played for a little while, didn't it, if I remember correctly?
It did, yeah, it did.
So I think this is one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think it's probably fine, right? Damage. I'm not sure how much the damage 16 is going to matter, but an 8k board wipe every time you attack isn't too bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jack, anything that you're looking forward to from what we've seen so far?
Gimme Cat.
Oh no, I was hoping we weren't going to talk about this, right? And
we'll skip it
because we'll probably spend 25 minutes in the set review talking about this. Yes, it's good. Yes, you should be afraid.
Other than that, I think the Edward's quite interesting, mainly because he's Job King.
Yeah, he has been before, I think. He's been
a useful Job King.
Yeah, the one before was like the 4 CP backup that if a forward dies during like your opponent's turn, they discard a card.
Oh yeah.
Your attack phase, you discard a card. Really weird, and it was like a 4 CP as well. So actually, this being 3 CP is quite nice because you can like turn 1 Sarah, search it, and then next turn play it on curve.
I keep looking at a water ice deck, and just the more things that synergize with that, the better.
Jacko even, sorry. I haven't seen enough yet to be like, oh, I'm really looking forward to this. I think the ice summon, I'm really intrigued as to what that's going to be. I think trying to, depending on how good that is. But yeah, I mean, the Len is interesting, but yeah, without putting the elephant in, like give me cat.
It could be a Garnet one, right?
Yeah, that could be cool. But yeah, we'll talk about it more. I think obviously during the set rewards we've got some more information, but there's nothing that's sort of crazy jumping out at me just as of yet. But probably the unit if I had to pick right now, just because the idea of having some sort of like engine for an ice deck, and then you could like an ice wind or even ice wind water.
I was really big on this Zach when it was spoiled. And then I played Soldiers, and I find it hard to sort of like give up the Fire Zac. That's just like if you're removed from the field, you play a 4 CP from deck. I do know that obviously they can be played in the same thing, but I don't know. But I think the Barrett's got my deck building brain working, so that's a
lot of potential there. That Terra's pretty. I can't remember that Terra. The Tifa, sorry.
This one.
It's pretty. Bad,
no, yeah, it's bad.
I couldn't remember. I remember thinking it's not very good.
At the beginning of the attack phase, during each of your turns, choose one forward. Your opponent controls, deal it 3,000 damage for each category 7 forward that has entered your field this turn. Like, well, not potentially bad, but like, I mean, I might play it in like L3 or something, but otherwise, I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. Right. Well, I think what else have we got on our little agenda?
I think there's a cool thing that we can talk about, which we sort of brushed upon a bit earlier, but is sort of when we talked about the 4-color wall decks and Warrior of Light is sealed product, and namely the Legacy collection, because I definitely think it's worth talking about that, because I don't know what you guys think, and I think part of the reason why we had so many players down on Thursday has a lot to do with that, because I've never seen such a buzz about trading. Like, people were just like trading. There was trades happening left, right, and center, and that's like that. A lot of time you don't really see that, but I think because not many places are really selling the individual cards for it, it's really hard for people to just pick it up. So people and there's so many options. There are so many cards within this Legacy collection. Everyone sort of wants different things. And I've never seen so much trading that was going as I did on Thursday, which is great. It's so good for the game. At the end of the day, it's a trading card game. And to see that many people excited and trading and exchanging cards and walking away happy with what they got was really cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of twofold, because obviously a lot of players that already had all the cards were like, well, I just want the full arts. So we're trading with people for the ones they wanted, whereas all the new players were like, I need everything in this. I mean, even I needed loads of what was in this set.
Yeah, well, I've gone from overnight having no pieces to play 4-color wall, because I've never had 4-color walls. I've only ever had one Refi and ever had one Faris. And overnight, I've now managed to get play sets of Refi, Faris, and 4-color wall.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that's been really cool locally is because the if you want to collect the set, it's like unattainable, right? There are 402 cards in this set, so it's not happening. But everyone's sort of gone, well, I'm just going to get the stuff that I like, and everyone's got such varied opinions on this sort of thing that everyone's sort of gone, oh, right, well, that's a common full art that I want, and that's one you want, so let's just do a straight swap. And obviously that's not like the way with all of these. They're not all equal like that. So, like, you know, despite Leo being a hero, he commands legend prices still, like
or like a Kusith, right? Like, you got a full art Kusith.
Or like
you're not trading that for a
Firion and Squall, despite being heroes, are not going to, command anything more than the common, really, for that sort of thing. So, it's just like, and we were looking through, like, obviously when you put all your foils in your binder and you do all this, like, you're looking at your bulk left over, and it's like, it's all gas. Like, like where are the bad cards? Like, it's
there's only a handful.
Yeah, in each element there's like one or two. Like, what's the bad card in fire here? Squall, maybe.
Bomb and Belas, I think. And even then, Bomb's got a deck it goes in.
Belias has been waiting for a full art for a long time, and this did see a lot of competitive play. Firion probably, right? Like, and I love this card, but admittedly, it's probably the worst. Like, of ice cards here, like
that Sabin though. That Sabin looks great.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't a massive fan of some of the foiling, particularly the ones where it's a character and it's like superimposed and they're in the background. Kind of looks okay, but yeah, ones like this, or like the Une. Like I've obviously loved playing the Une deck. And I've got one of the full arts of the Une, but it just looks horrendous.
Especially because the card's white.
I play it because of that. Yeah. I kind of want to play it because it looks horrendous. And Banana Sid as well looks horrendous, but I love it for that reason.
Like Goblin and Shiva here probably are the bad ones, right? Like, yeah, so much. And yeah, locally everyone's been so buzzed over this set, and it's a shame that nobody in Europe's managed to get this yet. And like now a lot of this has like zero worth locally because everyone's got everything that oh my god, there has been a lot of this bought. So I don't want to say how much like that Firestorm Games bought in, because I'm not entirely sure, but there was a lot of it. And when you think about how much you think there was, it's more than that, way more than that. And they're down to like 20 boxes left in the company, I think. So
I think it's gone now. There was none on the shelves when I was there yesterday.
Some listed on the website, but like,
okay.
Yeah. And a huge thank you as well to everybody out there that's used our affiliate link to do it, because we made a lot of sales through this as well. And with that, we've already got an idea of some more equipment and bits and pieces that we're going to get to, make the stream better and make bits and pieces like that. Like, honestly, again, thanks everybody for liking the video, subscribing, joining in with the conversation, everything, like watching the show. It's like really, I know I speak for all of us here. Like we really, everybody's comments at events and when we see people online in real life, it means a lot. Like Fish, man, like how many people came up to you at Winter Cup has been like, oh my god, like I love what you do, man. Like,
yeah, honestly, it bowls me over because obviously I don't know half these people. I might see obviously the Twitch handles or the YouTube handles, but obviously I don't know for the most part who they are. And then obviously getting to meet them, telling me what they like and what they might want to see and stuff, it's great. And I love the back and forth with the chat when we're having. That's like the best part of the stream games for me. It just makes it that much more interesting. So yeah.
Fish for Worlds.
Fish for Worlds,
baby.
Not on my own. Cymru Cactuars for Worlds.
Oh.
I gotta have one of my commentator consigliaries at my side, otherwise it's no fun.
Oh well,
It's gonna have to be me because Jack Hanneman's gonna be competing, so it's gonna have to be me, I guess.
Well, look, if it has to be one of you and it can be neither of you, that means it's got to be me. So.
Oh, well. Aren't you gonna be competing as well?
Well, just put.
He can do both.
As I say, give me a headset at the table.
Yourself, guys.
Am I competing? I was a one deck wonder, and that deck's been power crept by 3 sets.
Dancers are pretty strong. Certainly better than monks.
Oh man, King Tycoon.
Libel and slander, sir.
Hey, we played. Who won?
Scary. That scary.
It was.
Who won, Fish? Who won?
Ishtola won, mate. That's what it was fucking about.
I only beat the dancer deck because I hit Shiva EX plus on like damage 5 or 6. Like I was dead and then bailed out.
Someone saying our stream is apparently very low, but if I turn this up anymore, we're gonna be peeking into red. So we can definitely look at that, but I don't know. Is anybody else having a problem with the volume?
Is it any individuals? Let us know in the chat. Is it individuals that are quiet? Because obviously we're all at home running our own independent gear, and some of us obviously are on different stuff. So if there's any individuals that you think are really quiet, it might be good because then we can start. Or if it's just everything in general. It
does sound a little bit on the muted side compared to how maybe we're hearing each other.
Kitty says fine, cool. So,
maybe Fletchbird just turn your volume up.
Yeah, well, King Tycoon, man, that's a full art, right? Jeez. Chocomog, great looking full art. So there's, again, like, what's the bad wind ones here? Like, what, Charlotta? No, Charlotta's a card that when it was spoiled years ago, I was just like, this is very problematic. That people can play Diablos now from hand in your opponent's turn. It's been like, as a 4 CP, I'm just like, I don't like that. But it never saw play.
Did you ever really see play?
It's in Loop, isn't it?
Yeah, Loop is reliant on Zoo as well, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
I say before Opus 18 was before my time.
But going back to King Tycoon, it's wild to think that 4-color wall is one of the best decks, and you can get almost every piece by like the Lena. Like, just from the set.
Yeah. Pekiota has probably never seen play, but it's still like, man, it's good stuff in here.
Except for the Undead Princess. Moment silence for me that pulled 2 Undead full art Undead Princess.
I also pulled one, and they can do one. It's been reprinted, and it's still terrible.
The card is absolutely fine, but I've got a promo that's been in my. I've got an extra foil promo that has been in my binder for like 5 years. So that's about it. But
there was something sad about pulling some of the ones that were promos. Like I pulled 2 Undead Princess and 2 Mist Dragons, and it's devastating.
But yeah, I mean, people have been getting mad for this, right? It's just been so. It's been really nice to see, like you say, trading's just been rampant. Everyone wants to get the bits that they want, but what the bits, like obviously, like you've got like, for example, Liam's our big like Earth Wind guy, like Earth Wind mid rangey sort of thing. So no one's after the same sort of thing that he's after. And it's just
that flan as well. That flan is so. I didn't know I wanted that flan until I saw it, and I was like, "Wow, I want it so bad."
But it's so nice because every time that something's pulled like across the room, you're like, "Oh God, Fish is gonna want that. Fish, get over here now!" And it's like everybody's just like, "Oh yeah, cool. Let's just get that sorted out immediately." Like I don't know.
I sadly still didn't get much of what I wanted out of these.
Oh, it's still your third mark
from me.
I still need one more mat, which I think I've got hooked up from Alex from Bridget.
Did you get a Shantoto and a Shinrai that you were after?
I did get those, but like most of it, then I was just trading to people for stuff I didn't particularly want or need. But okay, let's be honest, I still want Kusiths and Tyros, but they're never happening. So
I need an original Kusith.
Yeah, but they're like 90 odd quid. I'm not
like
that.
Good.
I am willing to spend that.
I'm glad someone is.
Yeah.
That Adea though, getting a full art.
Oh man,
it looks gorgeous.
I'm the only person who plays it. Like, let me have it.
I've got 3.
Beautiful. Like that card. Full arts didn't exist way back in Opus 2. They were just a pipe dream in the future, and so seeing some of those older cards get full arts that they write, like the Renoa as well, which obviously had a full art non-foiled, the Ice one, the Opus 6-1.
Nice to see things like the curl as well.
Beautiful. Garuda's sad if you pull that, but it doesn't.
I think I've got a playset of that in full art because I was playing it in like Turks with the Cisne that discards. So
shoot for 10.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's nice that like they're trying to get rid of get all of the Akira Ogoro like FF4 full arts, but man, I haven't seen Zemus in a sleeve since like maybe.
I forgot that card was a thing.
Yeah, it's been put down from legend to hero, but like it's still. Yeah.
Me and Lawrence always love this card because it looks like he's wearing like a shark fancy dress outfit.
Yeah. But again, these are all like great cards still. Melazine, Rampair, Graha.
Reeves are heavily fought over.
Oh my god, yeah, I've got to give up the dream on Reeve, I think.
Yeah, cards like Reeve, they're the ones that really come into their own. The ones that are a full art, like there's artwork on the whole of the card. I actually think the ones that are darker look better. The one thing that I will say, from having seen Connor already flash out the deck on Thursday, is that sometimes it does look a little strange when you've got some of the old foiling full arts and then the new foiling full arts next to each other.
Yeah,
a little bit
Sarah
off.
FFL I've got, and it stood out a mile. Like, oh man, Roche, how's that card gone so good in just like one set? I've got the Aria full art that looks really nice. It's just a shame because you play Larsa instead now. But
Gordon as well. Gordon getting for that.
Oh, Sarah, I managed to get my first foil Sarah now. So, good set, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just like
I didn't
every
realise
pack was
Strada
valuable.
was there as well. Strada
Yeah?
was in that set. I had no idea.
A lot of the Cat
can
6 cards.
we also, while we got this,
Oh,
can we have
no,
a moment
no,
of
no.
absolute insanity? I know I'm going to blow Preston's head up, but we gave out Legacy Collection boosters as our participation packs. And for those of you that aren't local to Cardiff, our boy Mason has had a really fun Hippocampus deck that he's played for ages. And as Paul was handing him his Legacy booster, Preston just takes one look at it and goes, I bet you pull a full art campus. It goes, a day to pull a full art Hippocampus. And lo and behold, he opens it up and there's a full art Hippocampus in it.
402 cards it could have been. Or 202 cards it could have been. It was the exact one. Mental.
He had just called. I wish that moment was like, we talk about like great moments from the set. That's like up there with like the Elvis call and like and things like that. It's just
whoa, look at that full art Beatrix, $50.
also hilarious.
Jesus.
Fallon's in the chat. I think Fallon was like, oh yeah, full art Besbia, and everyone's a bit like, ew, what? And he was like, oh no, not Besbia, different guy. Right.
You can see out of her mouth through there, Jesus.
Sorry to out you live on YouTube, Paul.
Is that Paul Fallon disapproved, I think, at this point, right?
Yeah.
I
I think he was talking about Amber or one of the other ones, but yeah, it was just really funny.
My box was so, but I got the full art Cymru, which is just like, oh my god, that's exactly what I wanted. So,
gorgeous.
I've got full art Ishtola, so which no one wants, so that's gonna sit in my binder forever. Hopefully, a collector will have it. Garnet, yeah.
I pulled a couple Gwains. They were awesome. Looked really cool.
Yeah, people will snap my hand off for Gwain. Yeah,
it didn't last very long. So yeah, I pulled a couple of those. It's really weird, and you guys were here. You've already heard me say this, but I'll say it for the chat. I bought 2 Legacy Collection boxes, and 6 full arts in each box. And across the 2 boxes, 4 of the full arts were the same. Double Gwain, double Mist Dragon, double Undead Princess, and double Nero.
Oh mate.
Ouch.
Yeah, grim. Like the double Nero I was actually really happy with. And the double Gwain was good trade, but yeah, the double Undead Princess and Mist Dragon was like,
oh man. We have locally seen a Warrior of Light opened, and we have seen a Una opened. So.
Who got the Una?
Alex from Bridgend.
Yeah, Alex from Bridgend got one.
Oh, cool.
So. It's
as I should just point out, right as Gareth London also pulled 2 full art Chinus from different boxes.
Really?
Yeah, one after another.
He needs it. He can't write numbers down properly, so give him that at least. The boy's illiterate. Give him a break.
Yeah.
I pulled none of the full arts I wanted, but traded for pretty much all of them.
I'd say I did all right with mine, and it's
hard to have something that you really wanted from the set, and I think you quite rightly said when people were talking, Paul, I think in the trading channel on the Discord, was that it's like I don't need any of these. These is what I want.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite a nice way of putting it, because like I wouldn't say any of it I really need, but there's a few things that I sort of definitely wanted, and actually the things I needed were the non-foil ledgers, which actually I did get, which was awesome. Opening 2 4-color walls in my first box.
For the longest
and the Refia.
for
just
the
foil.
longest time I've only had 2 foil Kusifs. So when everybody was like fighting over the full arts when they went up in Card Cavern, I went into the bordered foils and I was just like, I want all the foil bordered Tyros, I want all the Leviathans, I want all the Thordans, I want all the Kusifs, like, because otherwise I'm just not going to get them. So I just put in a big order for like all these. I'm just like, nah, like you can have them, but you know, when like the difference of like having a full art Kusif and a foil one is 28 quid. I was like, nah, I'll slum it down here, mate. Like,
Yeah, I
Because
finally got
already
my
have
first foil
those.
Shantoto. I got like a 7 CP Shantoto. I got one in foil. I was forgetting the foil was going to be way out of reach, but you know, I've never owned a foil, let alone full art Legacy 7 CP Shantoto. So just got a foil one, which is really nice.
Funny enough, so I have all the foil Tyros, Kusiths, and I had 2 Totos, the full art reprints. And I just took this one out of the Legacy set off Jack just to get 3.
I haven't got any Lady of Antiquity yet. I've got 3 of the Delusory Warlock, but I haven't got any Lady of Antiquity. So if you see me about, help a bro out.
Yeah, I'm just after the selfies, and then I'm back up to having all of the K8 full arts. Slowly but surely.
I just know I have trade bait that people want, but they've just got nothing that I want. That's the bit I'm stuck with. Like Edgar, for example.
Do you need Edgars in general?
I need one more Sabin.
But
that's a big one for me.
Yeah, what a set it was, just for getting stuff for existing players and especially for new players.
Well, and with that in mind as well, what I've been doing is I've been getting I've been getting loads of like people's bulk from this set. I'm just like, because like you look in there about what the engines are and all this sort of thing, and people was like, right, I don't need any of this stuff, so give it to me and I'll make like demo decks or like rental decks for new players and all that sort of thing. So which I can just keep at Firestorm. So I've got like I went through everything. I've got a really quite convincing soiree list here that it does include Mist Dragon, it does include Amaterasu, but I just don't have the Madame Adele's. So I'm sure somebody will just be like, "Oh, there you go. I've got these in the binder." So we'll add them in.
Let me have a look.
Oh,
I haven't looked through or sorted my bulk yet. So once I've had a look, I'll let you know.
I was like, I've got a spare Shantoto, which I'll never get rid of now. Like, I'll chuck that in. But like, I've got this...
What set was Madame Adele?
It was in 16, yeah.
I think I've definitely got my non-foil one still, so I can.
It was a promo as well. So.
Yeah. So I've got some spares for sure. Cause I've basically got 2 non-foil promos and then a playset of the standard 3. So yeah, I could definitely donate 2 Madame Adele's to you.
Oh, fantastic! So yeah, that, and I'm gonna go through all the other stuff as well, because like again, I've got like a full set of like Restrictor, Nero, Vice. So like, there's a start of a Ice Lightning deck, right? Like honestly, and it's got like 3 Reeve and 2 Kate Sif. So it's just like, honestly, just add in some pretty much any Ice and Lightning cards at that stage, right? If you're making a demo deck, like just like anything.
Well, even
else.
the Lightning and the Sephiroths are in that same set.
I've got I've got Lightnings in there as well. Yeah, so like Sephiroth's not really a card you can give away.
As
on
is
that one.
Vincent and Reeve and Kate Sip. Yeah, they're just
Lastwell.
A lot of the core targets are just in this set.
But you can build that core and you can give it to a player and it goes, if you can easily build this, and all the money you need to really invest is then go out and try and get a Sephiroth, like the Legend Sephiroth. But then again, prices of that will have gone down because they've been reprinted. I mean, I had a playset and I've just pulled a non-foil copy that's just gone straight into my trade binder.
But yeah, it's just cheap ways to learn a lot of the core mechanics of the game, especially a functioning deck.
Definitely. Like again, you can go Claris Rampair to start with, like Earth Lightning in this, and add that in with like even Reeve Vincent. I know we don't have the Vincents but like you can do that with Reeve Vincent as well, or you can have like the mannequins, because obviously X-Death is in this set. So like again, for actual deck building, like how much of Mono Wind is in here? Like quite a bit, right? Where's the wind stuff here? Like
Asura, Atomos, Rosa, Luso,
Silkskin,
Yeah.
Chocobo,
Chocolate,
Chocolate,
Nosh.
North Darling, yeah.
Mog 11's in there.
You can make a fairly convincing like mono wind core out of this, right? Even if you it's just like, even if you did have to use Yuffie or something, yeah, Mog 11, Chocomog, like that's really solid.
The dream of this when I started, my experience was buy a Cat 10 starter set or do you fine, and then I got bullied for a week playing meta decks.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I think it's been really positive all round, and I think probably we've been going on for about 2 hours now, so I think we'll probably start ending it up here. But yeah, thanks for everyone for joining us. We've had a solid few people here the entire time. Again, talking about hidden legends, bans, all that sort of thing. Really, is there anything anybody else wants to add?
No, I think just thinking about sealed product, I wonder if we'll ever see the return of sealed starter decks. It's been a while since we actually had those, those individual ones, or even the the Cloudy Sephiroth ones we had, and the Shadowbringers ones.
Believe it's a box set this time. Yeah.
Because we're getting the championship. Are they only doing it for first place?
Yes.
It says there, it's got Firewater Monsters, Refia, Warrior of Light.
No, I was curious if they were going to do like one for each of the top 3, or if they were just doing that one.
No, it's just champions.
Just these ones, yeah.
Just champions.
It does mean it's a product I'll never have to buy.
It's a cheap way to get Clives if you can hold out.
Oh my god, you're right. My god.
Yeah.
And if you missed out on Legacy Collection, Warrior of Light, Refia.
And getting Realms again as well, because I've not been able to pick up my third one of those in ages.
They are giving this away. I wonder if there'll be like any. Yeah. I think it might have this Warrior of Light card in it.
As a non-foil, or
as their way of giving it away as a promo. Yeah.
Yeah. So
in the same way that we sort of had the Garnet. Remember, we had the Garnet as a monthly promo.
Yeah. So I think they might do that with this one to make it like buyable. Which
that was kind of what they said when they spoke about the Garnet, was they were never going to print a card that was only a winner's card.
But oh my god, good point.
That will be tedious.
Wow. Oh my god, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, there's some gas in there for sure. So yeah, and again, it just really helps us as content creators trying to build the profile of the game and get new players in. Having a product like this is what gets players in. This is, as a new player, you can buy this Champions deck, and that's like sets you up for everything. Like, you can't have the Jack kind of an experience where you buy a Cat 10 starter deck and get absolutely
3 sets too late.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you can't really argue with the cards in this deck. I mean, it was good enough to win Worlds. So, like, if you want like Warrior of Light deck, I know people that would change a lot of the cards in this, but like, it's still pretty convincing, right?
But even if it's not a deck you're going to pick up and play, it's a lot of key cards that you will play in other decks.
Paul Fallon, do you think they will be marked with not for regular play like Pokemon Worlds decks were? No, in the Pokemon Worlds decks, they've got different backs. So hang on, let's have a look.
I believe they specifically said when they announced this that they were legal.
As far as we know, it's been said that that these are playable. They are not bordered differently. They've got the same backs.
Why would they not be playable? Why release a product like that though?
These sell really well. But yeah, these are the backs of like the World Championship decks in Pokemon.
So the Pokemon one was to not tank the price of a lot of the key cards.
Yeah.
But I suppose Final Fantasy has that thing of there's very, very few high price cards.
And the ones that are high priced, there's normally lower rarity versions that are cheap. Obviously, outside of that, there are a few that just like the walls and stuff that will, even the non-foils are super expensive.
That's the key. Yeah, that's the key thing for Pokemon is like all the V Maxes and V Stars and equivalents of that. The equivalent of like our full arts. That's the only version of them that exist.
Yeah.
Whereas we can get it in normal, foil, and full art. Whereas theirs is basically just full art. So they don't
Makes
want
sense.
to tank the prices.
But it has been pretty much confirmed, as far as I know, that these are. I have seen it mentioned that people have spoken to the right people, and supposedly it is. It's exactly this. But I mean, like, wow, do you want to count the value in this? What's here? Like, we're saying, like, what's
3 Clive is like.
That's
insane.
75 quid.
Right.
off the bat.
$50 a piece they've got on here. Like, what?
I think they were on Card Cavern at 25 recently.
I think Realm in there is awkward to get hold of. LBTDus.
Has Realm never been reprinted?
It was
it was reprinted as a
Promo,
promo.
but everybody now
But
wants
that was a
them.
while ago.
It
Yeah,
was,
it was
12,
reprinted as a
wasn't she?
promo at a time. Yeah, it was reprinted as a promo at a time when it wasn't seeing play.
I remember, because it was when we were doing.
It was a COVID promo as well.
It was, yes. That's when we were doing it on the online leagues. And like that's probably why I've got my foil playset, because I happen to do really well in that. So, that was 100 million years ago, though. So, but yeah, what a great product. And like I say, absolutely, it's stuff that we can go like, oh, you want to play the game and you want to play like the best version of the game. Well, here you go. Here's an excellent couple of decks which you can get for what this will probably come out at 40 quid, right? It might. I suppose it might have some other. If it's gonna be a box set, it might have some reprints in there as well.
Yeah, comparing it to like the Dissidia box is what I'm looking at.
Do you think it'll come with the cards to like swap in and out like it did with other products like this?
I don't think so, because the whole premise of being a Champions deck is, which is actually hilarious if we talk about what we were mentioning earlier about how we said this Fire Water Monsters list was such a personal list to this individual player, and then to just hand it out to the masses is. But I mean, equally, if you're handing out to the masses, people getting hold of Clives, which defends
Firion,
Tidus, like, even if you're not going to play this Fire Water Monsters deck, you don't necessarily need to, because you're getting so many great pieces in here.
Sahagin, wow, jeez.
Just when does it come out this year, I guess?
August, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
Clive will already be power crap by then.
LBT won't.
Oh.
No, that's true.
I dread to think of the day that card ever gets power crap.
We've said that before about other cards. We've said that in the past. But yeah, well, it's been fun. I think we'll Fallon, surely the HCP World Pro will be in it too. I would have thought so as well. Right, yeah. Well, here we go. That was a lot of fun. I think we'll probably end up doing a few more of these as it goes. We want the sort of state of the game to be a sort of podcasty thing. There was the one I did with Steve about potential bans. It was so annoying because so many people took it the wrong way. So many more people took it the wrong way than I expected that they would, as well. Which was fun, but it's just like, I'm not saying ban 50 cards. I'm saying that these are the cards that like sort of like pop out as to me, and if we have to pick X amount per element, like just maybe have a look at some of these, and maybe these are the bad designed things, and maybe that it's
also a great video, because like that's also the whole point of that video, and the whole point is to engage conversation, engage the community. So actually, yeah, if you don't agree, like that's healthy, like just have that conversation, and just to like talk about what we think problem cards are. And it's just the more the game is talked about, like they always say, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Right. Well,
the more the game is talked about.
Let's leave it there then, I think. So anything anybody else wants to add at all?
I think we should just say we will be back to our regular Thursday programming when the new set drops.
Yes, and we'll have a set review probably as soon as we can on that as well. So
when IGN drops.
Yeah, whether it's that day or the day after, I'm not sure, but we'll get that up as soon as possible. Yeah, there's a lot of.
If anybody's got an inside contact, IGN, let us know.
It always becomes an all hands on deck sort of thing for that, doesn't it? Like who we can get as quickly as we can get. But yeah, well, the only thing I would say on this is ban Realm and fuck Sam Beasley. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.